This episode of Pucks Out Podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Action 24/7 Sports, Tennessee's only local legal sports book. Use code Pucks Out when you make your first deposit, and our friends at Action will give you a 50% boost when you make your first deposit up to $800. That's right, up to $400 extra dollars when you use code Pucks Out. And this week, once again, there are some amazing boosts and promos waiting for you. Follow us and Action on Twitter and Instagram to be kept up to date on all the promos going on throughout the week. And did you know you can gamble with cash? Are you tired of waiting on your sports book? You won, but can't get your money? No more waiting with Action 24/7. If you want to gamble with cash deposit withdrawals, get started with Tennessee's only local sports book today. Check out the link in the show description to find out how. Once again, use code PUCKSOUT, that's PUCKSOUT, when you make your first deposit, and our friends at Action 24/7 will give you a 50% boost on your first deposit up to $800. What are you waiting for?
From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast of sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o.
You can find us on the three major social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. Don't forget, Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer of Pucks Out Podcast. Check them out every Tuesday for trivia and Thursday for bingos. Tell them Pucks Out sent you. What are you drinking today, bud?
Soul Dark Lager. They've just been in the back of my fridge. You know, I can't even show off the beauty of them. We were just an afterthought. They here have these unwrapped silver cans because you're animals and we know you'll drink them. He was right. He was right.
Yeah, I got that nice Yodelier Blue, man. I love this beer.
I need a new round. I mean, I've got some. I need to put them in the fridge, but I need a new round. I mean, it's about time, right? It's been a second.
Yeah.
You owe me 48. You owe me 48 beers, bro. So I mean, I know you're holding back. I know you're holding back on your boy.
After we get back from Cancun, it'll be time for another pickup. But hey, don't forget to check us out on Patreon to get the show a day early and all the special bits. And don't forget to check us out on Twitch where you can see me and occasionally Brandon will join in. How are you this week, bud?
Ooh. I'm good, man. I'm good. Just been going lately. Kind of a chill week this week. Hopefully a chill weekend this weekend. Cause getting ready for Mexico. Okay,
ooh,
so
yeah.
That's what's up for sure. I did get got. And it usually you can't really surprise me this way, but we decided to go to get some Mexican food on Friday. Me, Sass, Stephanie, his girlfriend Neely, and not even thinking about it being 2 days after my birthday, just come video and all of me just come. I had no clue, and I saw him coming. I'm like, oh, who these cats coming for? And it was me, and so the guy was trying to rub the spoonful of whipped cream on my nose, but I just kept moving my mouth up to eat the whipped cream. I'm not gonna waste that. It's gonna be all in my beard all night, man. And then they came and they took the sombrero to give it to some other cat to sing for him, which I found to be
that's just disrespectful.
It was super disrespectful, but the guy that they gave it to, there was an older gentleman at their table, and let me tell you, it was magical for him to see them to come to. For me, he was jazzed up for me, and then when it was at his own table, he was glowing. So I'm happy for that guy, more so than even me. It was not Camino. I did not get shots of tequila. I mean, I was on my second tower at that point, so I probably didn't need shots of tequila. But yeah, man, just super super jazzed up for Mexico.
Yeah, we'll be doing shots of tequila.
Yes, I'm not even a tequila guy. I already can tell you.
Me neither.
This is gonna be Bourbon Street. All right, buddy. I hope they're ready for us in Mexico. All right.
No.
What about you, man?
Good, man. Yeah, just packing, cleaning the house, getting ready. Been streaming a little bit. Just spent this weekend with the fam. Just super excited. Can't wait. Speaking of Mexico, I know I'm already in that mindset. Well, let's do that fit check, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is not my Mexico gear. I'm saving my Mexico gear. But got the birthday present from the old MIL, the mother-in-law. But it's it's my Orioles party like it's 1983 shirt.
Nice.
Sorry, Michael, Larry, the boys almost got you there, fellas. So when you're rocking the new fresh Orioles gear, you got to rock the. You probably didn't see this. That was the problem. This is a hat, Bob.
Oh, all I saw, I thought you got a new Orioles tattoo just right there on your forehead. I didn't even see it was a hat.
First tattoo. I shaved my head and I got an Orioles tat. Right
went there. Hard with a forehead tattoo.
You know me, bro. I have how many Orioles hats? I mean, because I got like 6 each time I went to. I've been to 2 Orioles game. I have 14 Orioles hats, all from those 2 Orioles game. So I always try to get some in the stadium because it's baseball and we got to support a dying sport. Boom, got them. But then they always got the locals with the stands outside, and so this is one of my favorite ones. $5, bro. I mean, gosh, you just can't get better quality for $5 in all of Baltimore. So had to be rocking that. What you got? What you got going?
Got that. This is technically not one of my Mexico shirts. This is just because I dropped all my Hawaiians at the dry cleaners.
Okay,
but I had to keep a couple here because I gotta have my streaming attire. But this is one that's I got this one. I think it was like I got it for like $3 somewhere in the Caribbean on a cruise.
Perfect.
And I was like, I can't pass up a $3 Hawaiian shirt that fits.
You bought the rack.
Yeah.
It's just like a uniform.
I have 6. I bought 6.
Well, see, I'm not going to spoil it by showing the fit, but I'm going to tell you, and something I've been loving lately is guys have gotten to the game where they're wearing matching, shorts and shirts, bro. Like I'm digging it. I love it. So I've got me a little fit going, for a nice, I'm trying to decide if it's going to be my flight stuff. So as soon as we get in, I can be geared up, ready to party. But I don't know if that's going to make me more of a target for customs. They're like, this guy is clearly a drug dealer. I mean, no right-minded individual would wear that outfit. It's not. I will say, it's not a rompum. Okay, it's not a romp him. All right, it's separate. They're separate pieces. Okay.
Honestly, I think we could pull off a rompums on this.
We absolutely could, but I could not pee. I could not. What if I gotta go drop a massive dump, dude? I'm not getting naked in a public
restroom, a public Mexican bathroom.
Because and people are like, oh well, why does it have to be public? Because you're not wearing your romp him around the house, all right? You're wearing it out, or you're not wearing it at all.
But all right, let's move on into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
All right, we've got a bunch of free agency news coming up. Let's start with one that's close to home here in Nashville. One of the biggest potential free agents comes off the board as Philip Forsberg agrees with the Preds on an 8-year, $68 million contract. That needed to get done. I think that I was never much of a fire David Poile guy, but to me, this was you had to get this deal done. If he didn't get this deal done, I think that he was out. I have no doubt about it.
Hometown guy with a lot of name recognition. There would have definitely been folks out for blood. A deep playoff run would probably have been the only thing that could stave off any talks if he didn't get that signing done. One of the, you never heard, he went to free agency obviously, but you never heard a lot of chattering from other beat reporters and stuff about how Forsberg's coming in. You kind of assumed that it was a done deal, and we've talked about him needing to get paid. I like the contract. I mean, it's a little much, I think, but I mean that's the market right now, unfortunately. I mean, I don't think we're going to get better for a better price. My biggest thing is he's got. I mean, don't Albert Hainsworth us, you know? I mean, you had a really great contract season, and we would love to see that continue, and not show that inconsistency. But definitely a big signing. Love to see that from your team getting their star back.
Yeah. We got a bunch more. The Hurricanes have traded for Brent Burns and Lane Pedersen, sending Stephen Lawrence and Ietu Makiniemi and a conditional 23 third-round pick to the Sharks. That's Brent Burns. That's a veteran presence. I think that's a good pickup for the Hurricanes. I mean, let's see if he can get back on track. Obviously that Hurricanes team hasn't been great recently.
Well, that Sharks team, you mean? The Hurricanes team that just went to the
play. Sorry. The Sharks team needs to get back on track. The Rangers have found their veteran backup to Igor Shesterkin, inking Yaroslav Halak to a 1 year, $1.5 million, I'm assuming, prove-it contract. I like that. That's a good solid backup for a Vezina winning goaltender.
Gotta have a couple goalies these days for sure.
The Rangers get a good look at Vincent Trocheck during their playoff series against the Hurricanes and are signing him to a 7-year, $39 and change $1 million contract. Listen, Vincent Trocheck is a beast in fantasy, and I think he is a good, solid, all-around player that would be good on any team. It can fit in just about in any line.
Great addition to New York. I mean, a piece that we could argue that they definitely could need, that depth center position to pair with some of their big dogs they have. Like that signing. Going back a little bit to the Brent Burns, I really like that too. I like, like you said, he's been struggling, but it's not like Carolina's bringing him in to be that number one top dog offense or defenseman. They don't need that necessarily. So he could turn it on and score 60 points this year, and it would be a fantastic get for what seems like not a whole lot from the Hurricanes.
Let's see. Up next, we've got Claude Giroux. Is finally on the veteran forward signing with the Sens on a 3-year, $19.5 million deal. I think that's listen, that's a good vet. I don't know if obviously that's not going to push the Sens over the top, but maybe it gets something started there.
Yeah, maybe. I'm more interested. I mean, it seems like this is definitely a move for the money, right? I figured a guy like Giroux this deep into his career would be going and not trying to get 6.5 mil for 3 years, going and taking 4 mil somewhere on a 2-year contract at a what? I mean, anybody can be a contender any year. Don't hear what I'm not saying, but what we assume to be not a contender for a Stanley Cup. Giroux doesn't have a cup win. Hey, 6.5 mil, go get your paper.
Claude Giroux, does he have a cup win? I don't know how long he has been. I don't know what other teams he's been with.
I thought he was a career Philadelphia Cat.
Let me look. And when was the last time? I mean, it's been what?
He was for Philadelphia forever. This year at Florida was his first time ever playing anywhere but Philly.
Yeah. And
he's been there since 07-08. So I guess if Philly won a cup in that time frame, they may have. I know they've been there. Why don't we just do this? Flyers Cup.
That's what I'm doing. They won at 74 and 75. They've won 2. So no, he hasn't been playing since 1975.
He is not, at least not for the at least not under that name and for the Flyers. So hey, like I said, it may not be, obviously it's probably everybody's dream to win a Stanley Cup, but it's just an interesting signing for me. I mean, he went to, he went to Florida, a team, a competitor, a team that could win. I don't know. Just interesting signing.
Yeah.
We'll like him in fantasy, though, I think.
For sure. Goaltending was the focus for Oilers this offseason, and they are signing former Maple Leafs goalie Jack Campbell to a 5-year, $25 million contract. I think that's that's not bad. Jack Campbell's a good goaltender. That was definitely their biggest issue in the postseason. Other than running into the best team in the league. So I think this definitely makes them once again a contender. And I don't think anyone can persuade me otherwise, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on what Jack Campbell can show us. I mean, we've seen guys that have gone in there before to the Oilers, and they're going to be that, that finally they've got that goaltending piece, and it hasn't worked out before. So we'll see. But I don't hate the signing at all. I mean, they had to do something, and not a lot of goalies available this year.
New Jersey Devils have traded Pavel Zacha to the Bruins in exchange for Eric Hwala. The deal is 1-for-1. I think both teams. I think the Devils kind of. I don't know. I think this is a good 1-for-1. I think it's about even. Both teams just need a new kind of scenery, and I think that's good.
I think it's. I definitely would say it's. I would definitely say it's better for the Bruins.
Yeah,
to get that chance for Zacha. But like you said, kind of even. But you did skip one. Toronto found its tandem. No, you're good. Tandem partner from Matt Murray, inking Ilya Samsonov to a 1-year, $1.8 million contract. So, I would be more comfortable with Jack Campbell. I mean, and this doesn't exude an era of a Stanley Cup team. Now, to be fair, I guess Matt Murray has won a Stanley Cup, so who am I to smack talk? But I don't know. What do you think about it? What is your thoughts? Because I was, it's a good signing, but
like it.
It's just not
I think it's a good signing.
Yeah, definitely a good signing, but I mean, that goalie tandem.
Yeah, I'm kind of about it. It's one of those things where let's wait and see. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of unknowns with that. That's my biggest thing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, for a team that wants to be there and wants to win a cup, it just doesn't seem like the type of move. Jack Campbell's only getting $25 million over a 5-year period. You don't got $5 million. I'm just, I don't know. I'm just kind of on it.
Yeah.
Like this next one.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Johnny Gaudreau will be signed this season, but it will not be with the Calgary Flames, the only team for which he has played during his 9-season NHL career. Now that Forsberg is inked up, I think that's the belle of the ball right now. That's the prize.
Oh, well, even with Forsberg not inked, that's the belle of the ball right there, man. That's the guy.
Well, we didn't. I think a week ago we didn't know about Johnny Gaudreau, so it's not like he was the belle of the ball. Like it was like almost
You knew it was possible, but I know what you're saying. But I mean, with him coming onto the market, he is the guy. I'd love to have him come wear some gold. I don't think that'll happen. Where do you think? What are you thinking? Not for us. I'm just saying. Where do you think? Where do you like him?
I'd have to think. I don't know the cap space.
Right. Let's forget
I like
cap.
him though. I like him. I think I like him on the Islanders.
Okay. I don't hate that. At all. That's a tough. I mean, he's a good fit for a lot of places. I'm thinking Johnny Hockey wants to go play hockey in Vegas, man.
Yeah.
I think he'd fit in style of play. Kind of more. While being a superstar, flies kind of under the radar. Every April Fool's, he always takes all his stuff, Calgary stuff down. So that's always funny. But no, I think Vegas. I like Vegas as a sign, or the Kings. I can see the Kings as a potential contender. Again, not knowing cap space, not doing the legwork on it.
Yeah. All right. So, Evgeny Malkin will not be leaving Pittsburgh after all. The Penguins have re-signed the veteran to a 4-year, $24.5 million contract.
You said, you said after all, but you forgot it was only the span of a couple days after we were recorded last week that he decided he was going to test free agency. Because he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna test free agency." He beat us on the cycle. We're on a weekly cycle, so we didn't get to catch it because he was going to test the waters. And then the next thing you know, he's inked up a new 4-year extension. like, did you even call anybody? Did you even have enough time? So you say after all, but this is the first time any of our listeners are hearing it from us.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, going on. One of the best potential free agent goaltenders is off the market. Marc-Andre Fleury agreed to a 2-year, $7 million deal with the Wild. And I think I think I had something on that. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that when we get to the draft because that impacted their draft scenario. So let's hold any comments we have that because I got a couple comments on that. And then following the trade to bring in Kevin Fiala, the Kings signed him to a 7-year, 55, and almost $250,000 deal. I think he's earned it. Kevin Fiala, if it wasn't for cap space and stuff, like Minnesota couldn't pay him that money. They wanted to, but they just couldn't. And I think he earned it. That he
7.87. That's a lot of scratch, bro.
He spent the last 2 seasons on prove it contracts, and he proved it both times. And I think
I'm not saying the man didn't deserve to get
maybe
paid.
They won't. Yeah, maybe they won't. Maybe they won't get 7 years out of him. 7 years is a lot. That's a long contract for a young guy who's a little undersized, in my opinion, and has already had one big injury in his career. But hey, you make your money, young man. I like that.
Yeah, and I would kind of go back though, a little inconsistent at times.
Yeah. He seemed pretty consistent on Minnesota. I think,
Yeah, well this past season he had his ups and downs throughout the year.
Was it just that, or was it also because Minnesota was up and down? I mean,
Minnesota ran second pretty much all year in the division. So, I mean, it could be a story of, hey, you got lots of great players. Sometimes you're gonna slump a bit, but hey, I'm not hating on the guy. I just 7.87. That's a lot a year. That's a lot of money a year for a guy that I don't know if he's proven $8 million a year. But hey, give him his shot. I mean, he's proven me wrong multiple times. So who am I to say that he's not going to go to LA and do it again?
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to move on to outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
The NCAA football landscape change has an update. Sources, according to ESPN, there are sources within the SEC and the Big Ten that have told reporters that that Notre Dame right now is the golden goose to everyone, and that both conferences are trying to land Notre Dame. They have been courting Notre Dame, offering mega deals. Sources within Notre Dame confirmed that they are holding firm and have no plans to join a conference as of yet. I think it all depends on what happens with their TV deal. I think if this TV deal gets renewed, they're staying independent. I mean, the money's just too good for them. If this TV deal ends up not getting renewed, then I think they're going to be left with no choice but to. And I think that they are all in on that, because if they lose that, they lose a lot of leverage.
They would definitely go. I mean, they would be stupid to choose the SEC in this. I mean, you got to go Big Ten. You got to be able to compete every year. I don't think that the money in the front end is the problem for them. I think what the problem is going to be is when you get all these huge big time conferences that are getting to play big time opponents every single week, and then they start getting left out of a few things here and there because I know, the Notre Dame's the darling and everybody loves, but when you start getting USC and Ohio State and everybody playing together, it kind of changes the landscape in my mind. Maybe it won't, but if I'm Notre Dame and I have to pick a conference, SEC probably gets you a little bit more money, but Big Ten probably gets you a few more wins in the throughout the season.
For sure.
So.
Do you think that going to the SEC though would help recruitment and overall help Notre Dame? I mean, being able to say
Absolutely.
that you're an SEC school, I mean, obviously that helps recruitment.
Absolutely. I would say it helps a little bit, but at the same time, is it going to help when you're going up against Nick Saban? You're recruiting against Nick Saban, and so these two guys are going to probably play each other, being in the same conference at some point. I think that may be harder. Hey, you're going to get that name brand and that recognition over here for Alabama, but you're going to get beat up by Alabama each week at Notre Dame. But it's Notre Dame, so I think the difference is going to be of where they're gaining recruits. I mean, you're still going to have those those Florida guys, those Texas guys go to a Texas school or a Florida school or potentially USC. I don't think they're going up to Notre Dame. It's not as storied in the South as it is, throughout college
throughout the Rust Belt and the Northeast.
Exactly. So I think the Big Ten would probably be best overall for Notre Dame football.
Yeah.
But for Notre Dame wallets, SEC is, I mean, why would you go anywhere else?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they're making plenty of money just being independent. So as far as they're concerned, they're cool staying independent. I mean, really, I think the biggest hurdle for them is, eventually I think being independent
scheduling is going to be
scheduling and playoff,
Mm-hmm.
So
sure. I think, I agree. I don't think money, it's one of the few, college football, bigger programs like this, none of them have to worry about money at all. I mean, all of them got like $1 billion.
Their boosters are not letting Notre Dame's not hurting for money.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of comes down to where you think you can win a national championship, because I mean, that's what it's all about for these big schools. So,
yeah. Many athletic directors within the Pac-12 found out about the USC UCLA move to the Big Ten when they public found out, causing chaos.
It's fucking badass.
And apparently the USC UCLA ADs kind of planned for that. They knew that doing this would cause a sudden, shift in the bedrock of that and cause them, some schools to have to make a split-second decision of, okay, we're leaving too, rather than them have time to kind of work things out. And I think that, I think that they strategized that perfect if they, to really disrupt that, because I think them just moving is bad for everyone. But if everyone starts moving, then I think that's good for what USC and UCLA want, which is to join a mega conference.
Sure.
And it worked just as they planned.
It's very surprising to me, though, that there's no, type of like reporting rules on stuff like that. I mean, hey, I like you said, I'm all for it. They got them, got them good. Yeah. But I'm just surprised. I'm more surprised that there is no type of what's the word I'm looking for? Type of backup or some, that's not the word. Type of game plan,
like at the board meetings of the conferences,
like disclosure. You got to disclose this to us before you just like blow things up. Hey, more power too. F the NCAA. You know our feelings on this podcast. We hate the NCAA more than we hate watching baseball on TV. Okay, and it's not, and it's not even close. Okay, not even close.
Yeah. That wraps up outside the NHL. Our main topic, we are talking about the NHL draft. It is concluded. I didn't watch it live. I usually don't. I usually watch, the recaps and stuff. But
we don't know any of these people really, for the most part.
But the surprise number one, the Montreal, which it was also the host city, took a surprise number one overall with, and I'm going to try and say this right, Juraj Slavkovsky. I thought that was good. Leaving the Kraken to score a potential franchise center with their number 4 at Shane Wright, who was the projected number 1 overall. And I did see, though, on all the replays that Shane Wright gave the death stare to Montreal. Like, just like when he's holding up that Kraken jersey, he is staring daggers at the Montreal GM and stuff. And
they were saying, "Oh no!" And they were wiping their face with their money. I don't care. They don't care, bro.
This actually caused Wayne Gretzky to reach out to Shane Wright and be like, "Hey, I also was not taken number 1 overall. That for a young guy like this, that is."
That's
he's
pretty great.
Oh shit! That's pretty awesome.
I don't think that I would want. No, I don't think that I want that at all. At all. You hadn't even stepped onto professional ice yet, and all of a sudden you have the pressure of the great one just on your career. Yeah, lots of people weren't taking number 1. Wayne, why would you call? Like, call me. Call me in 30 years when I'm great.
Well, the thing is,
and then,
he added him on Twitter, so everyone else saw it. So now everyone has that expectation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you think like, oh, that's super cool. And on the surface, hey, it would be super cool to get a call.
It's cool for us.
It would be great for you and I to get a call from the great one, because we're not gonna be great. Okay, we just are who we are.
Because you know what, you and I, we also weren't taking a number one overall.
We were. See, he should reach out to us about that. But I mean, think about the immense amount of pressure the great one has called you. Like, hey man, if this guy has one of the best careers of anybody from his hometown, he will probably only still be like half of what Wayne Gretzky ever did. He could be a Hall of Famer,
and that's half would still be in a Hall of Famer.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He could be a Hall of Famer, and it won't matter because Gretzky said, "Oh, I wasn't taking number one." Thanks, man. Really appreciate you.
Chicago fucks things up once again somehow by trading a 24-year-old Alex DeBrincat, who has had 2 40-goal seasons already, to Ottawa for only 3 draft picks. Then they picked up Mrazek, who the Leafs had to get rid of his final 2 seasons of cap reasons, and all they got was their number 25 pick in exchange for their 38. So they moved up 13 picks. The Hawks got absolutely fleeced for this. This is just absolutely insane. That I mean, it's like they don't even want to win anymore.
It's like your boy over here, though. You saying all that? You're talking about what we should be talking about as a podcast, talking about sport. But your boy's licking his lips over here, waiting for his 60-goal season from Alex DeBrincat in Ottawa. Okay, I'm just thinking about how this is going to be great for me in fantasy. I'm a huge DeBrincat fan. Love this. Oh yeah, love everything about this trade. Okay,
yeah, because now you can root for him even more, because that does it. Because before you're rooting for him, but like it's Chicago, now you get to root for him fully.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, people will think, oh, he's in Ottawa, and leave him alone. And I'll be able to get him in like the 5th round or something. Not great, Bob, as the kids say.
Isaac Iceman Howard. We finally see a prospect come into the league with some personality. There was a link on there with his video, but he said, "I'm the best looking guy here," he told Sportsnet in a push out afternoon. And quote is, "So I figured I'd be the best dressed one too." The number 31 pick heads to Tampa Bay from the U.S. National Team Development Program. He has a head start already because he is not coming out of college. He's not undersized. He's in shape. He's been working out with pros. I like this guy. Now I will say that
did you just want to bang him or what?
But the crazy what's the craziest thing is that the nickname Iceman was given to him by his dad simply because he was on the ice a lot training. I feel like that is a hell of a nickname that it's going to be hard to live up to, and also the worst reason to get that nickname.
I was about to say you're hyping up. It's a dope nickname.
Yeah,
except for
bad reason to get it.
Except for its origins are based in nothingness. All right. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Ash, man, you're doing good out there, champ. And then he's like, stuck. It's in. I'm in for it. I am definitely in for it. All of that being said, he's a pretty good looking guy. I mean, I haven't seen the other cats, but I mean, he's a good looking character for sure.
Yeah. And of course, this led to guys like Don Cherry and stuff being like, "Oh, we don't need these egomaniacs coming into this league dressing all crazy, dressing like that and acting like they're like, dude, you're literally wearing like a bright green suit right now made of like emeralds. Like, get out of here."
One of the champions of hockey, the hockey world, is Don Cherry, my man. That man, I'm pretty sure I've seen that guy wear a suit with mangoes on it. All right, like, what are you talking
about? So in my opinion, biggest winner, biggest loser. I think biggest winner of this draft was Seattle with the pickup of Shane Wright. Biggest loser, I'm going to say, is Cam Talbot. And we said we'd talk about it again. This Marc-Andre Fleury extension with the Wild is a departure from what we all thought, which was he'd be moved. We all thought that Cam Talbot would be getting this starting position and be a full-time starter. And after last year's trade deadline, the pair split the crease evenly with 11 starts each. Prior to the deadline, Cam Talbot was having a very good year, 25, 12, and 1, .910 save percentage. But GM Bill Gorin, who's very old friends with Marc-Andre Fleury, still insisted on Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury also was a starter going into the playoffs. Talbot is one season away from being a UFA. I think this is going to sour the Wild to Talbot, and I think Talbot leaves. I think Talbot's a great young goalie. I think they either move in they have to move at the trade deadline. I don't see how they've shown their trade deadline.
I say move him before the season. You can get an adequate backup for Fleury. I think you got my thing is I think you got to pick. You've got this flying down the center thing, and I don't think that's going to work. I think
not with these guys.
A dedicated right. I think you need a dedicated backup. You're holding back Cam Talbot's career.
Yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury ain't going anywhere to play as the backup. He wants to start. Yeah. He wants to play. That's very clear, and it's commendable. And I mean, it's not like he's been a bad goalie.
Yeah. He's anything. A Vezina winner.
So he's a vet. I mean, well,
technically speaking, he's a Vezina winner.
He owns a Vezina trophy. Yes, Bobby, that is correct. He
had the most votes for a Vezina trophy. That's by the most technical standards.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you got to move him and bring somebody else in. And some landing there. I mean, there's some good landing spots for Talbot. I think some teams that would definitely fit what he brings to the table. Something that comes to mind. The Kraken. I don't know if people are still sold on Grubauer or not, but I mean, I never really was. The Kraken may try to bring somebody in.
The
Sharks, maybe.
Do you think it's him or do you think it's the Kraken? I mean, that's not a good Kraken team.
Absolutely,
and Grubauer is proven to be a good goaltender in other places, but also was that because he was the Avs? The Avs and the Kraken are two very.
You said other places, right? You said other places, and he was a serviceable backup in Washington. He was. I think it was Phoenix. He was okay in Phoenix, if I'm thinking about who it is correctly. But I mean, in Colorado, he was good. But was he good, or was he playing behind Colorado? I've just never been super sold on him as a goalie, as a starter at least. I think he's a serviceable backup. Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of good landing places for him.
Yeah. Speaking of goalies, right before we started recording, it was confirmed that Darcy Kemper is going to the Capitals. I think that's a decent pickup for the Caps. Yeah. But let's end the draft discussion talking about the Preds. They picked up Joakim Kamelli. You told me about this. You really like this. So tell me a little bit about him and why this is so big for the Preds.
Joakim Kamel. I don't know. I think it's an L. I think it's two L's, not an I. My biggest winner is definitely the Preds, just based off of reports from not only our local beat writers and such, but a guy that was talked about as a potential top 5 pick, a scorer, which is I know that's very rare for the Predators to draft somebody that can score and doesn't play defense in the first round. But I mean, he was on the U18 and U20. Was it the Finnish he was on the U18 and U20 Finnish teams, racked up double-digit points over 18 games. Also, when he got injured, so that was a big thing of why he fell. But in his 12 games, like I said, he scored 12 goals and had added 3 assists. And in his rookie season now bear with me, JYP Yelaska. I'm not sure. It's a foreign hockey team. He registered 23 points with 15 goals and 8 assists in 39 games as a youth, a real young cat. So a guy that could have gone a lot earlier. The Preds got him all the way down at 17. Something that we desperately need is goal scoring and guys that can do that. I really like the pick. I think I think the Preds won with this pick. It was a very surprising fall. And I think you already kind of highlighted Chicago, probably the worst loser in this draft for me.
Yeah.
Just as an overall, not necessarily, like you said, not necessarily due to their draft being poor per se. I know not a lot about the guys they got, but
What
not
they gave up
seeming
to
to
get
not
picks.
right, not seeming to get. I mean, I just feel like Alex DeBrincat commands a whole lot more. So I don't know. That's so that would who I would say would be my biggest loser. But you have any thoughts? I know I sent you that article. I don't know if you have anything.
I like it.
that you
You know,
saw.
I can get much. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great pick. I think this is one of those things where, you know, I'm not big on saying, okay, this guy is going to be, you know, I don't think one pick makes it the best because, you know,
No, it's hockey.
we thought Ellie Tolvanen was going to be a game changer. You know, he's good, but
he's still young. Well, he's still young. I mean, that's what we all forget is these guys are like 18, and sometimes it takes till you're Kevin Fiala and you're 22 or 23 to kind of roll in.
And a lot of times, these guys, you know, because they need maybe 4 or 5 years, they might not even be on that same team anymore. They may get moved around as assets 2 or 3 times before they start really, you know, being, you know, get real time on ice. But yeah, I like it.
17. I'm sorry. Pick 17 is the perfect spot to take that chance on that injury prone guy.
Oh,
you know, I mean,
you got to take the chance.
It, you know, the guy that's not injury prone, the safe pick is just as likely to bust and fail in this league as the guy that could be.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Preds should be taking chances. We got chances have to be taken if we want to try and get into a Stanley Cup,
especially in the draft. I mean, yes, drafting and prospects are really an important part of the NHL, but not nearly as much as free agency and and building a roster that works together. So, go ahead. We are good to move on.
Awesome. Let's move into joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. Yeah, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
Kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
Okay. America's most decorated Olympic athlete.
Gymnast.
Michael Phelps. Sorry. Gymnast. Sorry, I misread.
I wasn't even reading the article. I was just correcting you just in general. This is back to I do want to say before you get into it, this is back to our roots. This is why these are the type of articles that we created Joke of the Week for. The world is kind of depressing, and we've had to kind of go with more depressing Joke of the Weeks, but this is it. This is the money right here.
Yeah.
So good find.
Yeah.
Good find.
I mean, I've read the article. Nobody dies.
Nobody's
dead. No horrible. There's no horrible crime.
There's no race. There's no racism. There's no, stabbings. There's they do mention that she's an advocate for athletes' mental health and foster care.
Hold on. There's something here about a box cutter. There's something here about a box cutter on the plane. I don't know. We'll get there. We'll see what happens when we get there.
We'll see. I actually did read the article too, believe it or not. I don't ever do.
All right. So Simone Biles, the 4'8", most decorated U.S. gymnast in history with, 32
it's a ton.
Olympic and World Championship
medals.
It's an absolute ton. Yeah. Who was also awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, adding one more to her thing. She gets on a plane. She is given a coloring book by one of the flight attendants. Almost said stewardess. It's a flight attendant.
See, we were going with a, we were going to be flawless on this Joke of the Week, and then
I had to remember which one. I had to remember which one was right, which one was wrong. I was like, which one is it?
It's a flight attendant, buddy. It's because stewardess would imply that only women can do this, and there can be stewards. All right, there can be stewards.
Okay, so I thought stewardess could be any gender.
I don't know. I have no clue. I'm just ramping you up, buddy. I don't have any idea about this.
Anyway, so she was given a coloring book, and she tweeted about it as kind of jokingly, and then the very next flight attendant gave her a mimosa.
Boss, dude.
I mean,
That is
honestly, a
That is
coloring book
awesome.
and a mimosa sounds like a good flight to me.
Okay, yeah. See, you had it as in there the what a joke. Like, oh, this person didn't know Simone Biles and tried to offer her a coloring book. I mean, to be fair to everybody, you did mention this, but it wasn't highlighted enough. She's 4'8", so legally legally a little person, a dwarf. You know, I mean, and also
Is that true? Is that a true statement?
I think so. I think under 5 foot. I think you're legally. I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody or anything. She's, you know, we can cut it if we need.
The short answer is no. The long answer they say is no.
Okay.
Over the past decade, they have height no longer determines if you're a little person or a dwarf.
You said no longer though, so meaning at some point the knowledge that I gained was correct. Is that what I'm hearing from you? Okay.
Yes, at some point, yeah.
I'm not just pulling this out of the air.
No. You're not.
Simone Biles does not have dwarfism. Okay, I do want to. She's just very short.
She is a little person as a descriptor.
Small as as an adjective. She's a person who happens to be little. Okay, that's so she's a very tiny individual, and again, not wearing an American gymnast outfit and doesn't have her hair tied up, and she's not doing like 30 backflips. I'm imagining. I mean, maybe she is.
I mean, I would assume she is. Wouldn't you, if you could? Wouldn't you be doing that into an airplane if you could?
No, because Bobby, that's work. All right. I'll leave that at home. Like, I'm just trying to enjoy myself. So
that might be why she's an Olympic athlete, because she like does her work at home as well.
That's what I'm saying. That's
why we're not. That's the only reason we're not Olympic athletes.
The biggest part of the joke to me is I didn't know that people were just getting offered coloring books on flights. No one has ever offered me one. And I don't feel like that should be a little kid thing. Like, if I would love a coloring book.
I've gotten my wife coloring books for Christmas before.
Do you have crayons, ma'am, or colored pencils preferably? But I will take crayons if that's all you have. I mean, I'm just confused about why she's not tweeting us a picture of her with the coloring book. Be like, look, coloring book and mimosa. I'm doubled up here. Okay. So that's more of what a joke, Simone Biles. You're too good for coloring, Simone. You're just a big time athlete now and win gold medals, and you can't this is really, some people hate Simone Biles for other things. It's because she refused the coloring book and then made fun of them.
So the way this reads is the reason it wasn't just, and she wasn't randomly given a mimosa. It doesn't go into too much. So the way it says is the flight attendant tried to give her color, but she said, no, I'm good. I'm actually 25.
I'm 25.
And so the reaction was, I feel like what happened was they were like, oh, so let's get her an alcoholic drink. Not like, oh, we're sorry, just move on. Like, okay, let's
apologize for this.
Let's go get her a mimosa. It's either one or the other. I don't know what airline this is, but this is awesome. Where it's like, instead of steak or chicken, it's coloring book or mimosa.
You want to know what you want to know would have been better though, if she would have taken the mimosa, taken a drink of it, spit taked it. All right, and it was like, what is this? And they're like, oh, well, it's orange juice. She's like, the mixer. So what a joke. I mean, she made a face of disbelief, but like, I mean, I guess she's pretty short, but
also I feel like
she does look old. She does look older than even
look like a child.
Right. I will give you that. She does look like a grown up. To be fair, do we know about this flight attendant? Maybe she offers everybody a coloring book. And like, she came at her
maybe
hard.
She's offering
like,
it to everybody.
I'm 25. Well, like, do you not know how to color? Or I'm confused about the statement, man. Like, do you want it or not? Like, I don't know how old you are.
She's like, I'm sorry, I'm not an Olympic colorist. I'm an Olympic gymnast. I didn't train to color. I trained to be gymnasts.
Ma'am, you can go be racist in your seat, all right? I'm just trying to pass out the coloring books. That's my job, all right? What a joke. But on you, Simone Biles. Take the coloring book next time and color us a fantastic picture. It'll be worth so much money. You could just color pictures and be like, hey, I'm Simone Biles. I'll sign this. Do you want to give me $25? They're like, yeah. And then you can go buy one beer in the airport. It'll be
I love that you
dope.
think Simone Biles is like hawking her own signatures on an airplane just to get
I'm
by.
not saying that she needs to. I'm just saying that she can. I'm just saying that she's able to. There's not a big professional. There's not a big professional gymnast league, man. She ain't making millions upon millions of dollars. She may be hawking her signature here soon enough.
There is a story, and I'm trying to remember who it was. There was a Sopranos actor that, even as recently as like a year ago, he wasn't like a major actor, but he was like one of the guys in the crew, that sets up along the route of like the Sopranos tours, and sells like knockoff Sopranos merchandise from his trunk to get by. And I'm trying to I just can't remember who it was.
I know who it is. I'm for sure. Let's see. Was it Gigi? Because I know he did that.
Joe Ganascali, who played Vito Spatafor. The gay guy.
Way, Vito. Yeah. Vito's hanging out like I'm down low.
He hawks pirated DVDs and picks at jacked up prices to stun New York tourists out of the trunk of his car. And when asked about it, he just says, "I'm hustling."
Yeah, boy. Get it.
He sold bootlegs at a whopping $60.
I'm going to just get the pick with the cat, dude. I'm going to get, this is amazing. This is the best thing that I've ever heard in my entire life.
There's some, apparently, I don't think that, yeah, okay, so I'm going to put the link in the chat, but yeah, there's, let's see, here's it's, and there were pictures of him, like, doing it, like, out of his car, of his hatchback.
Dude, that is classic. That is awesome.
He sells like New York he sells like Bada Bing stickers.
Where's this been all my life, dude? I am in, bro. I'm in.
That is amazing. Oh, what a hustle. But all right, let's move into our pop culture. Obviously, we have both seen Thor: Love and Thunder. We will be doing a no spoiler talk about it. Wow.
Saw it a day early, bro. Saw it a day early.
I saw it last night. I saw it Tuesday night. Holy shit. I'll probably be seeing it again. I don't see a lot of movies twice. I'll probably go see this one again. I know my mom wants to go see it, so I'll probably go see it with her.
Well, and AMC, we have one 5-10 minutes down the road from us. Anything before 4 is like 30% off. So we went to that 3:45 show, and I get off work at 3:30. We're able to be there. We still had to watch previews,
Yeah.
Wow, bro. I called you. I told you, sometimes when it comes to deeper, comic book lore and stuff, we don't always see eye to eye because I'm not as deep in the comics as you. So I don't have as much perspective. So, I told you, hey, if this was definitely probably my favorite in the phase so far, and possibly the best movie in the phase. I think the only thing that I told you may give it a little run, a little show, just because of the different nature of it as opposed to all the other Marvel, was Shang-Chi. Because I really like Shang-Chi a whole lot too, but it was just, honestly, I thought it was like a better version of Ragnarok, and I loved Ragnarok. So it was great, man. It was so good. All the actors, Christian Bale. I'm not going to do a spoiler for the guy that you really touted, in case the folks want to see it. But my man's did a great job in his role. Yeah, I think you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. So, any favorite parts? I know that you had a couple that you mentioned to me, but people hadn't heard them.
Yeah, I think the entire scene. I'm trying to do it without spoilers. Well, I guess everyone knows that Russell Crowe's in there. That's all in all the trailers.
That was what I was trying to hide. Okay, I didn't know it was in the trailers.
Yeah, everyone knows Russell Crowe's in there, so I'm not going to say any names, but Russell Crowe, everyone has seen the trailer with Russell Crowe.
Right, we don't know who the entire
the entire scene where Russell Crowe's in there is amazing, well done, just an awesome fight scene, it's all great. It's all great.
That's what I was about to say, man. It is a rarity. Normally you get a few minor fights, and then you get a couple of big fight. Every single fight scene in the movie
done.
was just like fantastic. You were engaged. You were on the edge of your seat. You know, Thor's not going to die, but you're like, oh my gosh, this is scary. Christian Bale may get him this time around.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think buff Natalie Portman as amazing as they made her look in that trailer did her no justice. She looked so good that that even the portions that you're like, I don't know. And I know you know what I'm talking about, Bobby, where you're like, I'm like, yeah, still would for sure.
Oh, I was like, yeah,
for sure.
show.
Not a question. Get to see a little bit of Kat Dennings. She makes a little guest appearance.
Yeah.
There, I don't feel like that's a big enough. That's not a spoiler, right? Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It provides not a lot to the plot or anything. So, love it, man. Love where it's gonna be able to take us. The cutscenes at the end really open some big opportunities.
I don't think it'll spoil it. I think what I really liked was the way that like it was a comedic thing, and I think it really did it well. Was his relationship with Stormbreaker, and was really well done. I liked that.
Oh, it was just so funny. Like you said, because there's sometimes that like things like that go a little overboard and they make a weird. They just did it so perfectly. And because
Taika Waititi is a genius.
You saw it. You saw it coming the whole time, but also you didn't see it coming. And then like it would just be like it would just pop up and and it would just kind of be in your face. Stephanie was like, I mean, I laughed, I cried in the movie. I mean, it is man, if we, once this phase is finished and we do a complete retooling and revamping of our rankings, it's hard for me to say this ain't going to rank way up there. I'm with you. Not only
I think it definitely makes both of our top threes, I would assume.
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, I'd have to kind of go through it. I mean, for different reasons, but yeah, I mean, I'm not a big go to the movie guy. I'll go to the movies to see Marvel movies or any type of Lord of the Rings or any type of Star Wars, but generally I steer for the most part clear. And I told you, I think I said it before you did. I said, I think I'm going to go to watch it in the theaters again. You said you were going to, So, I mean, I probably am going to have to, because I really enjoyed it. A massive amount.
For sure. All right, let's move on to what's snapping your stick.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right, yeah. So I'll start us off. Kind of continue the discussion of Thor. These incels online who they changed the reason why they hated Love and Thunder after it came out. At first, they wanted to hate it because they thought that Chris Hemsworth was relinquishing the role of Thor and stuff, and it was going to be. And they're like, oh, and they're just gender swapping him. And when really, I feel like, and this is what I told Megan. You can't be mad at shit if you don't read shit, if you don't know shit. Mighty Thor is a character in the comics. They are adding Mighty Thor.
Right.
Now,
and it's so
I'm not spoiling the movie at all, but in the comics, Mighty Thor is not there for long. Mighty Thor is there for a short time. So if they actually read the comics, they would know that Mighty Thor is just there for a little bit, and it's great. It's well written, one of the best comic arcs in the world. And after it came out, they're now mad. Those same incels are now all mad that they're like, oh, they made Thor into a joke. He's now he's just a himbo and just a meathead with no brains who just makes jokes. It's like, that's all that he in Thor 1 and 2. First off, Thor number 2 was bad. Thor number 1, he's not a genius. He's kind of an idiot. He lost his hammer because he's an idiot. And he's a jock.
I mean, it's the point.
Yeah. That's literally who he is. He is the jock. There's a reason why Tony Stark, Nick Fury, and these guys and Romanoff, they're the smart ones. And Bruce Banner, like he's there. They point him in a direction and he hits shit. Yeah. And he can fly. Like,
Yeah, and I mean,
He is the
it's like you
strongest
said.
Avenger, not the smartest Avenger.
Right. It's like you said. I mean, people are protest. I mean, it's like these same people. Like, you know that Spider-Man is different from the Amazing Spider-Man, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a comic
Miles
book reader, but,
Morales
like,
is not like,
you know that we live in a, like, and especially now, because this is post multiverse of madness.
yeah.
There's a multiverse. I don't know how to tell you this without hurting your feelings, Mr. Man on the internet, but you know that there's a black Thor out there, right? Like, there's a black guy that's Thor in one of the infinite amounts of universes.
Yeah.
There's a Thor that looks like
Yeah.
you. He's not a good Thor. He gets killed pretty early, but he, you know.
And and the crazy thing is, a lot of these guys, they wouldn't care about Beta Ray Bill, which is not even a human Thor having a part. But you know that if they had a black Thor, they would throw their shit. They would rather a non-human Thor than a black Thor. A lot of these guys.
Oh, no doubt. This is very clearly I mean, and I just don't even get it. Like, I mean, I guess I do get it. People are mad at the world and they want to be mad at the world. I mean, just hate
Yeah.
just hate baseball like us, man.
Yeah, it's easy to hate baseball, and it's understandable.
Stop being such a anyway. So what's snapping my stick? I had earlier. I couldn't think of one. I'm not in Mexico yet. That was obviously, but that's both of us, right? We're upset about that. It's as a general all the time. But then I got to thinking about that. I don't know how it got brought up, but I wrote it down real quick. Did you remember hearing that old rumor that if you marry, that those commercials that say, if you love Captain Crunch so much, why don't you marry it? Well, I don't know how it got started. It was just an old commercial. You may be too young for it. All right.
I probably just didn't see it. I just don't remember it. But yeah,
it
ran specifically for like just a couple years.
You're just a youth. All right, buddy. Let me just tell you, back in my day. Well, anyway, it was just a commercial, and a guy was like, if you love your Captain Crunch so much, why don't you marry it? And then it would be a scene with them marrying the Captain Crunch. Well, a rumor got started in my school specifically. I don't know if it was everywhere.
Can I time out real quick? Was he marrying the box of cereal? Was he marrying the captain?
Box of cereal?
Was it the actual?
No,
okay, I didn't know if it was actually like animated where somebody's marrying the actual captain. I'm like, that seems like a lot for a 90s commercial.
This is going to be a two-parter. Because that's something you brought up, a very good point. He's Captain Crunch, but his insignia and everything about him indicates that he is an admiral. And so I'm not sure, but anyway, that's
But maybe he's captain of the ship? I don't know.
Well, but you're captain of the ship, but if you're the admiral of the fleet of ships that you have, which would imply that you are the captain of the ship.
But maybe he's not in the Navy. Maybe he's a captain of the ship, but he's also a thespian, and that's his work clothes. He's an actor.
Oh, okay.
He's an actor.
Okay. Scratch it then. I didn't know he was headed to the theater. Okay. I didn't know he was going to do some Shakespeare. But anyway, so this rumor got started that if you married a box of Captain Crunch, then you got free Captain Crunch for life. And so I pretty much early on in my life had my game plan set. I was going to marry a box of Peanut Butter Crunch and never have to work for food ever again. And so that, obviously it was never true, and it's been a while since I've thought about it, but just like thinking back on it, how much simpler would my life have been if, like, at 8, I was just able to marry a box of Captain Crunch, man, and just like started my life right there.
So here's my question. Say in this alternate reality, that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. If you married a box of Peanut Butter Crunch, do you get stuck with only Peanut Butter Crunch, or do you can?
That was always a thing. We always just said that you could just fill it with whatever you want. You get the whole thing. Okay,
because I feel like getting stuck with just peanut butter gets kind of.
It's a polyamorous relationship with the Captain family.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So I guess in a sense, you're marrying the box of cereal, but technically you are marrying the idea of Captain Crunch. So really good question. Really, brought it around. So that just kind of makes me mad that, all those stupid rumors that we used to hear, they're probably not true. And it's disheartening.
Unless you read it on the internet. If you read it on the internet, it's always true.
And
Or if you hear it here. If you hear it here, it's true.
Well, but I mean, that internet. The internet. I mean, nobody's listening to us in person, Bobby. Any way that they're going to consume anything that we have to say, it requires the internet. Okay.
Yeah.
So rest assured that we're under that blanket authority of everything we say is correct and true.
Yeah. But all right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Next week we'll be having a archived episode because we'll be in Mexico.
Yeah,
so
boy. Hey,
enjoy
if you
next
have
week.
thoughts, though, if you have thoughts on which episode you want us to bring back, let us know because we'll be happy to, acquiesce to the fans' request.
But all right, guys, thank you so much for joining. For Bobby and Brandon, this has been Pucks Out Podcast. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.